Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. Y'all, I'm so excited because we're about to start reading some books, but as you can see, we got to deal with these felons first. So I tell you what, y'all go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I will deal with these felons. I'll get us posted up somewhere and I'll tell you what we're up to. All right, y'all. I got the felons mostly settled. At least I fetched them in from the freezing, blustery cold outside. So let's talk about what's up. It is early-ish in the morning, and I'm about to get on the bike and ride for 2 hours, which means I can read for 2 hours. And I'm about to start, dang it, I left my book over there. So I'm just going to stick a picture of it up here or here, wherever it will fit. I'm going to stick up a picture of the book Weyward, I think it's Weyward, by Amelia Hart. And y'all may recall that we hauled this book back before Christmas. And I think I knew a bunch, at least I thought I knew a bunch about it back then. I don't remember now what I thought I knew, but I believe that it is about a young woman who leaves an abusive relationship and goes to a family cottage. Yeah, okay, I do remember. Goes to a family cottage, and y'all, I have these crazy hairs all over the place that I can't, I can feel them on my neck and I can't find them. So that's why, if you're like, why does she look like an octopus right now? That's what's happening. Anyway, so I assume it's the main character, is in this abusive relationship. She leaves the relationship and goes to some family cottage that has some history of some kind of shenanigans. And I remember that because I recall that it reminded me of, remember The Villa that we read by Hawkins, Rachel Hawkins? And we learned in The Villa that properties remember, or like a house remembers or something like that. Yes, shady stuff happened at The Villa and The Villa remembered. So anyway, what little I know about this book, which is very little, gives me that vibe. Like that our main character goes to this cabin where things happened in the past and the cabin remembers. So anyway, I know very little, except dang it, now I wish I had grabbed my book because, well, I can show you the cover here because it's got that beautiful green cover with the creepy bird on it. So something about creepy birds and property, cabins, houses, whatever, remembering. So I'm going to go jump on the bike. I'm going to ride for a few hours. But then did I tell y'all it's Sunday? And I do my lesson planning for the week on Sundays. So this hair, seriously. So I only have 2 hours to read. So I'm going to go read for a couple of hours. And then I might come back later today if I figure out anything. And if not, then I'll just read today and tomorrow and come back and let y'all know what we know. All right? But at some point I will come back when I know something and let you know what we know. All right, so I'll see y'all then. Y'all, I am headed home to sit on the couch and eat popcorn and pet puppies and read Weyward. So I wanted to check in and let you know what we know before I read too much and forget what we know or what I've told you we know. So I've already forgotten what I told you that I thought we knew. So let me tell you. Our main character, well, our FMC, our first main character is Kate, who I think I told you, maybe, I don't know. Like I said, I forgot what I think I told you. But Kate is in an abusive relationship that she flees to Weyward Cottage, which she inherited from some crazy old auntie that she barely remembers. But she goes there because she has to get away, now. So, and Weyward Cottage is this sort of away place. It's in the backwoods, and it's not desolate, but it's isolated, which I'm pretty sure is going to come back to haunt us later. So she goes there, and it's a little dingy and, not kept up. And it's in this little, I'm pretty sure we're in England. I can't remember right now, but it's in this tiny little town. And she starts to get the sense that the auntie that left her this cottage, there's some history here. And some kind of maybe witch hunt thing going on or something. And so there are 3 timelines that we're reading about. One is Kate, one is Altha, and one is Violet. And they're all completely different timelines, but you know they have to like intersect some kind of how. So Altha is, I'm pretty sure she's a witch, or at least people think she's a witch. So I don't know if it's like a crucible, like she's not really a witch, but she has some kind of influence. So, oh, this is a flashing red light. Hang on, I got to pay attention here for a second. I have to go through this flashing red light. But remember in the Crucible, like they weren't really witches, but they just had like some kind of influence in the town. So the people said they were witches and burned them at the stake and did all the things, like crushed them with rocks. Remember, more weight. Anyway, I don't know if this is that Altha, whatever her name is. I don't know if her situation is that kind of thing where it's something happened with her and her mom. Not like between her and her mom, but she and her mom were involved in something and got into some kind of trouble. And now they think she might have killed somebody. And so that's what, and that's like 1600s long ago. And then Violet is this whole other timeline. So they're easy to, I mean, and the chapters are headed as like Violet, Altha, Kate. So, I mean, it's easy to keep separated. But the way that the story is told, y'all, the details are so rich and so beautiful that like it's easy to, you know how sometimes when you're reading like multiple points of view, like you get a little bit lost in the chapters of whose point of view you're in. Well, this is so descriptive and so well told that you don't get lost between the points of view. Like it's easy to keep up, at least so far. Plus they're like very, very different. Like the time periods are very different. Like you won't get confused between Altha and Kate because they're 400 years apart. So that's what I know about that. So let me go home, let me read. Hopefully Altha doesn't get burnt at the stake. Maybe she, I don't know. Maybe she does. We'll find out. But hopefully she doesn't this afternoon while I'm sitting on the couch, petting puppies and eating popcorn and reading books. But it is very good so far. Like I said, did I say anything so far? So Kate has run away to this Weyward cottage. And something about birds. Like I think that bird is going to be some kind of thing. But she ran away there to get away from her abusive, I think it's boyfriend, it might be husband, but she's hiding out there and learning about these women in her family. So it's going to be something. So let me keep reading and I'll come back later and let y'all know what I know. All right, y'all. I'm about to settle in here on this couch with these furry felons and probably finish this book. Did I show y'all? Look at how gorgeous this cover is. Can you see it's got the bugs and the birds? Now I know why it's got the bugs, and I'm pretty sure I know why it's got the bird anyway. About 3/4 of the way through, and I feel like I was looking to see, because you can see how you can see in the top, there's like some pages, but they're not lovely. So I was looking to see if there's anything that we need to look at. Anyway, I got to tell you a couple of things. I've already told you most of what I'm going to tell you. Come here, sissy. But, so I've read a few reviews of this book, and it's got pretty high ratings, but it's got some really low reviews. And y'all know how I love reading low reviews. And I like the book a lot. I'm enjoying it. I enjoy the writing. I enjoy the characters. I enjoy the character development. I like how the whole time it makes you like think about how the stories are. This dog's head is right in the, hang on, let me move this dog. Come here, baby. I just realized y'all are focusing on her, not me. And it's about me, not her. Come over here. Come here. You got to move. You can't sit there by the people. Come here. She ain't moving. Anyway. Complaints that so let me tell you this. I think I told you that there's shenanigans and maybe some witchery going on, and that we're following the storylines of our three characters. And I'm trying very, very desperately not to tell you, you know what, let's do this. Let's see if we can look over the dog's head. There we go. I'm trying desperately, as always, not to get, I know, I could just move the dog, I know. Trying desperately not to give spoilers, as we always try not to do. So our three main characters are on a struggle, like each of them is on a struggle bus. She's about to start barking now. Y'all, seriously, these dogs. Each of our three main characters is on a struggle bus. And like the point of the book is to like see their strength and to see them grow and develop and to come into, I mean, not to be a cheeseball, but to come into their strength as women as the story develops. And I mean, they need something to struggle against. And y'all, it is a struggle. And the bad reviews that I have seen of the book are about that. Like, I don't want to read a book where the main character spend 3/4 of the book being abused and I don't think I told y'all this before, but like if you're, I often say this, I don't think I'm triggerable, but so like I'm not triggered by this book, but bad things do happen to these women. So if you're triggerable, and I don't say that being disrespectful, but if things in, I'm just going to say that if you're triggerable, I'm sure there are trigger warnings on this book. Check the trigger warnings because likely something in here is going to hit one of them. But they struggle against those things. And like I said, I'm like 3/4 of the way through. And right now they are in the thick of it. But like, I assume it's going to be okay. Because if not, it would be really, really bad. But those are the complaints that I've seen about this book is that like, why do I want to read a book where all of the main characters are going through absolute teetotal hell for 3/4 of the book? I mean, because that's kind of part of it, right? Like, that's real life. So, I mean, I've never actually been accused of being a real life witch, but I mean, you have struggles, right? And you like get through those struggles to see life on the other side. And like, that's truly what these women are going through. So I don't know if I actually have said anything in that whole ramble, except to say that, I'm gonna hold this in this hand so y'all can actually see it. Complaints I've read about this book are about the things that I really like about the book, and that's the struggles, like the way that Amelia Hart writes the struggles that the women go through. I think it's fantastic because you hate the people I think that you're supposed to hate, and you feel for the characters and you feel the struggles coming on and you feel their pain. And again, like I said, I'm really hoping we're going to make it through on the other side in like a good way, but I'm going to get these puppies settled. I'm going to make me some popcorn and sit here and eat me a big old bucket of popcorn. And can y'all hear? There's a felon down here that is just snoring, like sawing logs. And then this one's about to bark her little face off. So I'm going to go. I'm going to eat popcorn. I'm going to read books with these felons. I'm going to finish this book. And then we might read, is it The Last of the Moon Girls? It keeps coming up in my like books you might like lists all over the place. So maybe we'll like that book next. So let me finish this and I'll come back and let you know. All right, y'all. I think I told you our next book was going to be The Last of the Moon Girls. Well, first, I finished Weyward. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to tell you a thing in the world about it except, oh my goodness. I don't know if I said that I wasn't a little sketch about, well, I mean, I did still really, really like it. I was questioning the story arc towards the end, but then, oh my word, y'all, of course I was going to say I'm glad I finished it. Of course I finished it, but it was very good. Like the ending tied it all, it was very good. I said I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to say anything, but it was very good. So finished that, started The Last of the Moon Girls, which look at this, just charming. Can y'all even see that? Is that focusing? I have a handful of hair, so I can't do the like background hand thing. Anyway, I've just barely started it, but thus far, Lizzie Moon is working in the big city in New York, and it's the whole like have to go home because of the, you know, dying mama or the dead grandmama or the, like that whole trope, like have to go home because of the like obligation to the family, and like you got out of the small town, now they pull you back in kind of trope. I think that's this. So Lizzie Moon is living in New York, and I'm not sure if she's working her dream job or I'm not sure. There's something about the job, but she has to go home, and I think home is like Connecticut, Massachusetts, I don't know, somewhere up there. But it's small town, has to, like the farm where she grew up. Y'all ignore the hair, because obviously I'm finna get on the bike. But she has to go home and deal with the farm because grandma died. Did I say that part? I think I started dancing around that and never got to it. Grandma has passed away, so Lizzie has to go home and sell the farm, like get the farm ready to sell. And it is very clear that she has some very negative, like dark feelings about going back to this small town. So that's where I am. I'm finna get on the bike. And y'all, my schedule is all weird because one of my students is sick. So I have ample time. Normally I would not have much time at all to read today, but I have ample time to read today, and it is gloomy out, and it is cold, and it is starting to rain because it is springtime in the Northland. So I'm gonna ride, I'm gonna lift some weights, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of work. I might get in a shower, I might not get in a shower, but I'm gonna sit on the couch for a significant portion of the afternoon and read books. So I will check back in with y'all later for sure and let you know what's going on with the Moon Girls and what we think about it. I mean, like I said, I've barely started it, but I think I'm really going to enjoy Barbara Davis's writing style. You know how sometimes you can just tell, like even when you just barely first start a book, like you can tell you like how somebody writes. I think I like how she writes. But let me go ride and read, and I'll be back later and let you know for sure once I know something. All right, so y'all have a good day, and I will check in with you this afternoon. All right, y'all, we have made it to the couch. I have my book. I have a couple of felons here completely ignoring me. Look at these two just not caring a single bit what I'm doing. There's one over there. So let me update you quickly on what we know about the last of the Moon Girls, because I've been reading a bunch, and I don't know why I'm trying to hold this camera. Hang on. I think I thought it would be cute to try to include the felons in the shot, and then that fell apart very quickly. But look, you can see there's some felons. There's a felon, and there's a felon. And like I said, they do not give a single dang what I'm doing. So anyway, let's talk. I want to make sure my book was right side up. Let's talk a little about what we know about the last of the Moon Girls, because I don't remember what I already told you, and I want to tell you some things, but of course I don't want to tell you too much and spoil anything. So Lizzie Moon, I think I told you, Lizzie Moon has to, trying to work around these dogs, has to go home to Moon Girl Farm because Grandma has died and she's the last of the Moon Girls. So she's going back to small town like Connecticut, Massachusetts, somewhere, to deal with this farm that she left. And so we're into the thing now. She's back in small town farmland, and come to find out, y'all, I think this book was recommended to me because I had Weyward. Either I had bought it or it was in my cart or something, because this is another one of those females with some kind of like mysticism that people don't like them because they think they're strange and creepy. I don't know why I'm holding this book. Because they think they're strange and creepy and have powers. Same. So Moon Girl Farm grows like herbal flower kind of stuff, or did. It's long since gone defunct, and which we need to talk about since Lizzie left. So Lizzie left Grandma there to deal with all the stuff. The farm went downhill, Grandma went downhill, so Lizzie has to deal with all of that guilt. And I think we find out not long after Lizzie gets back to the farm that there's this pond on the farm, and way back in the day, 2 of the town girls were found dead in the pond. And y'all, that is never going to lead to good things. So of course they suspected wicked shenanigans from the women at Moon Girl Farm. So I don't want to say too much about all that, but the story kind of becomes Lizzie. So she's trying to deal with selling the farm. She's trying to deal with her guilt of having left and not gone back when Grandma Althea got sick. And I forgot to tell you, when she goes back to the farm, and again, this happens very quick, like right straight out the gate. As soon as she goes back to the farm, she meets Evie, who is living at the farm. It's her Grandma Althea's friend who lived at the farm and took care of her. And Lizzie finds a journal, like a book that Grandma left to sort of help usher. Now I'm going to start calling everybody all the wrong names. To help, Daisy, move. This dog, I swear. To help usher Lizzie through this trying time in her life. So she has this book. Well, each of the Moon girls is supposed to keep a book of I don't know if it's a book of potions or just whatever, a book of whatever her thing is. And Lizzie just rejected that just wholesale, was not going to do it. Well, she finds this book that Althea left for her to help her through this time. And we find out that, did I already tell you, Lizzie works for a big name whatever it's called, perfume company in New York. Well, scents are her thing. Not really aromatherapy, but smells, scents are her thing. So anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about. So we have Lizzie back at the farm trying to, did I even say this? It quickly becomes Lizzie trying to deal with her guilt for not going back to help her grandmother and trying to solve this, the dead girls in the lake, trying to solve the mystery of what actually happened to these girls. Because did I say they blamed Althea? So the town blames Grandma, and Lizzie knows there's no way that her grandma could have done that. So she wants to find out what really happened. So that kind of becomes not really the story, but it's kind of the center around which it rotates. But there's so much more to it. There's just so much character development, and it's really way more than I expected it to be. The small town charm, I mean, that's a given. But there's all of the small town things. There's the big city girl returning to the small town, that trope. And the fact that she was rejected, we have all that going on. The dealing with the feelings that she had when she left, and that she expects that people of the town still have for her, whether they do or not, we don't know yet. And so it's Grandma's farm that we're dealing with, and we're all well, what's up with Mom? So Mom's some kind of scoundrel. She's on the lam. She absconded when, I don't know if we know this yet, but I'll just say this, she's just gone. It turns into a thing, but she's just gone. So Lizzie doesn't know where Mom is, doesn't know anything about Mom's situation now. Sorry, I like seeing a dog in my peripheral vision. I don't know what she's doing. Y'all know how that makes me nervous. But anyway, so I don't know if I actually told y'all anything that makes any sense, but I've lost my book. I moved the book so Daisy could walk by, and now I've lost it. But pretend I'm holding the book here. Very much enjoying it, loving the characters, loving the development of the characters. There are characters in it for you to love and characters in it for you to hate, and you love the ones you love and you hate the ones that you hate. And it's not so Weyward. I really enjoyed Weyward, but there were definitely some there are tropes that go along with strong women struggling kind of things, huge tropes that go with those. I'm not really seeing those in Last of the Moon Girls yet anyway. So I'm going to keep reading up. Can y'all hear this dog snoring? He just stopped. Yeah. So I'm going to hunker down here with these dogs. I'm going to read for a while. I probably won't finish it today, but I'll finish it tomorrow for sure. So I'll come back. I might come back before I finish it, but I'll come back once I'm done for definite sure and let you know probably nothing else about it, because I think I've already, I've said too much. I think I've already said too much, but I will at least let you know how I feel about the continuation of the story and the ending. So y'all sit tight, find you something to read, and I'll be back later and let you know what I think. All right, y'all. I finished The Last of the Moon Girls, and it was really good. So much as I suspected, it sort of like started to revolve around the mystery of the dead girls in the lake, but that really wasn't the point of the story. And the actual story revolved around the relationships of the people. Did I tell you there was a boy next door? There is most definitely a boy next door, and that is all I'm going to tell you about that, except that it is the boy next door from when Lizzie was in high school. That's all I'm going to tell you about that. So I finished that, and then I thought, you know what? It is a lovely day today. It is the next day. Like we were reading, I talked to y'all yesterday, and now today is tomorrow. So I said, you know what? It's because yesterday was so gloomy and so yucky, and today it's lovely out. So I was like, I'm going to go sit outside. It is lovely out there. And then I came outside and I was like, oh, it's a little chilly for people to sit outside, but it's not too chilly for a shark. So I sharked up, and I'm going to sit out here. Oh, I got to watch my mic. I'm going to sit out here, and I'm going to start reading can y'all see that? I can't see a thing because the sun is right in my eyes. But I'm going to start reading The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. And let me tell y'all what happened I know, it's always a story with me, isn't it? So I own the book of this book. I may have shown y'all the book at some point because I've been meaning to read it forever. I'm trying to make sure I'm not covering up my microphone. I know that was not cool at all. Anyway, I've been wanting to read this forever. I have the book. And so I was fixing to start reading it. And y'all know that the intern has a friend who bartends at the local bar. I just call her the bookish bartender because I loan her books all the time. She's the one that I loaned Beartown to and just ruined her life because now she's in love with Benji too. So anyway, the bookish bartender asked the intern, she said, hey, what's your girl reading these days? So he said, I don't know, let me see. So he texted me and said, hey, what are you reading these days? And I said, well, I'm fixing to start The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. And I told him a little bit of what it was about. So she said, oh, I want to read that. So I was like, oh, so I loaned her my book. So I'm going to read it on my Kindle, which is fine. I'd have been reading on my Kindle anyway. And it's in Kindle Unlimited, which remember, I prepaid a bunch of Kindle Unlimited. So I got to decide what I'm going to do with that, if I'm going to keep Kindle Unlimited, because now that we figured out how to DRM, and y'all don't come at me, do not come at me about that, but since we've figured out how to DRM Kindle books, I don't know if I'm going to buy Kindle books or I don't know. Anyway, we'll figure that out some other way. But for now, I still have some Kindle Unlimited paid for. So I'm reading The Wall of Winnipeg and Me on Kindle Unlimited. And here's what I think I know about it. I think it's about a girl who's an assistant to a football player. And Wall of Winnipeg. Yeah, it's definitely football because I was going to say maybe it's hockey because it's Winnipeg, but he's got a football helmet. So anyway. Yeah, she's his assistant and something happens. I know a lot. Anyway, I'm going to start reading. I'll come back and let you know when I know something. My goodness, y'all, what a difference a couple of days makes. Look at this nasty weather. I have to run and pick up a couple of prescriptions at the drive-thru. So I thought I would take y'all along and catch you up on what I actually know now about The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. And it's so nasty out. I was gonna wear my shark because, I'm just going to the drive-thru, but do y'all remember the time that I accidentally wore my bedroom slippers to the drugstore drive-thru and the drive-thru wasn't working? So I had to climb all up in the back and find my mud boots and go into the store in my mud boots. Yeah, so I was like, I probably shouldn't ought to do this in there's the popo. We are not riding dirty, y'all. But yeah, so I thought, it's probably a good thing that I'm not dressed as a shark because the popo just passed. That might have attracted some attention. So anyway, back to the story. I have been reading Wall of Winnipeg. Y'all, it's good. It's not great, but it's good. There is definitely not much deeper meaning to this one. So it's kind of a nice reprieve after The Last of the Moon Girls and Weyward. So what I thought I knew I didn't know much, but the little bit I thought I knew, I did know. Our main character is Vanessa. I'm going to go with Vanessa. She is the personal assistant, housekeeper, like Girl Friday of the Wall of Winnipeg, whose name is Adrian Graves. I have actually been reading this book, y'all, I promise. And he is a football player. And I don't want to, as always, I don't want to tell too much. So the book starts off with her thinking about quitting. Like she plans to, not thinking about quitting, but like she plans to quit. She knows she wants to quit her job, like trying to decide how to do it, trying to decide when to do it. And, you know, all worried that he'll miss her and all of this. Well, then something happens and she decides he ain't going to miss her and she don't care and she just quits. So quits her job. And then, without telling too much, I'm just going to say, turns out he does miss her. So I'm not going to say much about that because that's like the whole big turn of the story. Although I'm sure a lot of reviews do tell about that, but anyway, I'm not telling it. So Vanessa quits her, Vanessa, we're calling her Vanessa, quits her job because she wants to be, she's a graphic designer and she's like, save money, she's going to have her own like graphic design company, all good, whatever. I like it. She's annoying, y'all. I was trying not to say she's annoying. She's annoying. There's lots of internal monologue that I could do without. And she does this thing where she keeps referring. She's like playing hide the ball and we don't know what the ball looks like. Like she's referring to when something happened and it was so traumatic and, you know, she'll never get over it and she'll never stop blaming so-and-so for such and such and blah, blah. We don't know what she's talking about. And it's obvious that she's building it, like that the author is building up to like some big reveal of what happened and that like it's gonna be a big scene, but it's just annoying. And for like, either tell me about it and then we'll talk about it, or stop talking about it. Like stop being attention seeking about the thing that you're not gonna tell me about. There's a whole lot of that going on. She has, and I mean, in this, like, I don't dislike her for this, but I'm just saying, like, trigger warning. She has family issues. So if a character built around, like, her personality, I don't want to say her personality is built around family issues, but there's a lot about her that's built around her family issues and, like, her family structure and things that she's been to in relation to her family. So if those annoy you, this isn't the one. But again, I mean, I'd give it, like, so far, I'm like maybe halfway done with it, like a 3.6. So, I mean, you know, it's not Peace Like a River. I mean, it's definitely not Beartown. Like, I think it's a 1 of 1. Like, I don't think it's one in a series, and I'm completely okay with that. Like, I will be done with these people at the end of this book, but I will make it like, I would finish the book even if I wasn't reading it to talk about, reading it in order to talk about it. Like, I would finish it anyway. So yeah, I mean, so far I'd give it like a 3.6-ish. I enjoy the characters. I really like the characters. Aiden's kind of a D with an ick, but like that dude just about pulled out in front of me, and he's big. That would have been a mess. Anyway, like, he's not that way on purpose. That's just who he is. Like, that's just him. So you got to be ready to deal with that. But Zach, the Aiden's roommate, is very sweet and very cute, and we love him. And so, yeah, so there are some other characters who are fun to read, and I enjoy the relationships and sort of how they interact. And I even kind of like watching Aiden piss Vanessa off, because every time I say her name, like, I question myself if that's really her name. Y'all, I'm like 200 pages into this book and I'm still like, is that really her name? I know. Anyway, well, because it's first person, so you don't engage, like, you don't encounter her name a whole lot. Anyway, nobody asked. I enjoy how how she gets mad at him, and I'm like, he's just being himself. Like, yeah. So I like that about their dynamic, about, like, he's a jerk, and she knows he's a jerk, and even when she does stuff or says stuff and then he's a jerk about it and she gets her feelings hurt, she's like, well, I should have known better. Yeah, you should have known better. He's just being him. But anyway, y'all, this big pile of dirty snow at the back of the Walmart parking lot has gotten bigger and dirtier, which I don't understand how, because it hasn't snowed, but whatever. So, mysteries of the universe. All right, so I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to go get my prescriptions. I'm going to go home and read, and I will not be back until I'm done, because I'm already like, well, I can't tell you this and I can't tell you that, and you don't want to know this. So enough of all that. So I'm going to go do this, and I will let you know what I think. I just saw a woman get her shopping cart stuck in a pothole in the parking lot. I know it's not nice to laugh, but that's the most Minnesota thing I think I've ever seen. And her husband just sat in the car and watched it because it's raining. So, all right, I'm out. I will see y'all when I finish this book. Bye. Y'all, I'm full on miserable. I've been making horrible choices. Let me tell you what happened. So I stayed up entirely too late last night reading books so that I could finish The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, because today, I got to show you, Scythe and Sparrow came out. I know. And I knew the instant this came out that I was going to want to read it. Case in point, I am reading it on my Kindle because the book is supposed to arrive today, but I didn't want to wait for the brown man or the mailman or whomever is bringing it to bring it to my house. So yeah, I bought the physical copy and the Kindle copy, which I am going to DRM and put it on every e-reader that I own, and I will likely buy the audio version, either Audible or something, audio version of it, so I can listen to it too. But that is not what we're here to talk about. We are here to see. I am miserable. So yeah, I stayed up too late last night reading to finish Wall of Winnipeg and Me, and y'all, it got good. It's still, so I would give it about so we were at what, a 3.6 yesterday? I'd say it ended out at maybe a 3.85 or a 3.85 or a 3.9 maybe. So I'm not going to tell you much about what happens, because you have to read the developments, like the build up to the developments, and like reading them happening, like that's part of the thing. So I'm not going to say much, but first of all, I have to correct some things. I think I said that it's in Kindle Unlimited, which it is not. I realized that yesterday when I was reading it. Some of Maria Zapata is the author, and many of her books, this band is going to break. Many of her books are in Kindle Unlimited, but this one is not. So that's that. But anyway, the heck am I talking about? And I call all the characters the wrong names. I keep calling, I don't know what the heck I called Adrian. I think his name is Adrian. I don't know what I called him yesterday, but so the Wall of Winnipeg he is not a romantic, like he is stoic. And if you want to get your feelings hurt by character not being romantic, this is the book for you. So if you can't read a male character who is not romantic, or who doesn't do like outwardly romantic things, or you can't recognize the things that he does to show affection as him showing affection, if you can't like recognize his demonstrations of affection as showing affection, you're going to hate this book. And let me tell you what, the intern God, I'm so glad he doesn't watch my book videos, because he would be so mad at me telling this, but he is very much like the Wall of Winnipeg. Like, he is not I think we've been together for almost 20 years, and he's bought me flowers, I think 3 times. So I could like get my feelings hurt if I wanted to, but he's also, well, I'm not gonna, but like he does many, many things to show his affection. It's just not like buying flowers or chocolate or those kinds of things. So the Wall of Winnipeg is like that. So if you want to get mad at him because of like he doesn't go home with Vanessa to like, some family event, he doesn't go. He should have gone, he didn't go. But he just doesn't recognize that. Like the intern doesn't go home with me for Christmas. I one year got my feelings hurt about it, but that was just me getting my feelings hurt about it, because he doesn't not do it to be a ick with a D. He doesn't recognize that as a big deal. So it just is what it is. So you can get your feelings hurt about it, or you can just put your hand up and get over it. Same thing with way too much about my life. I told y'all I am freaking miserable. I seriously got like 3 hours sleep and then got up and taught 17 classes this morning. Anyway, I know. This is like driving while impaired. I should not video while impaired. So the Wall of Winnipeg is like that. He is not an unkind person, but you have to accept his demonstrations of emotion, or like of affection, as demonstrations of affection, or you need to just move on, because he ain't changing how he shows his affection. So that's what I know about that. I did enjoy the book. I enjoyed the ending. There is some spice. It's not a lot of spice, but here's the thing. I'm afraid that my spiceometer has been damaged by books like, and I have just barely started this one, but books like the first one in this series, Butcher and Blackbird. Y'all, you want to talk about some spice? Read you some serial killer spice. That's spicy. So Wall of Winnipeg has spice, but it's not like serial killers getting it on spice. It is open door, but not aggressively so, if that makes any sense at all. It is most definitely not the kind of scene that I would want to discuss in a book club with my mom. So there's that. It's open door, not like graphically open door, but definitely open door. All right. I'm about to go get on the bike and get down with some, I don't know if they got, I'm assuming they have to be serial killers because they're in the Ruinous Love trilogy. It's the last book in Butcher and Blackbird, Leather and Lark, and now it's Scythe and Sparrow. So it's got to be brother number 3 gets a girl. Y'all, we are 100% going to do this together. So let me go read. We're done with this. Like, I'm out now. But I'm going to go read this, and we will do this in another video. So thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out with me through this last little bit of crazy. Sorry about that. I should probably take a nap and reshoot this, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna, because we're just real around here. So y'all, thank you for hanging out with me. Let us know in the comments, what are you reading? What have you been reading? And it is springtime, y'all. All of the new releases are coming out. Scythe and Sparrow is out. Emily Henry has a new book coming out soon. I think Allie Hazelwood has a book either out or coming out. Like, all the good ones are coming out. And y'all better best believe we're going to read those together. So let me know what you're looking forward to. Just drop it in the comments. And I'm out of here. So y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you made it this far, we are most definitely friends. So go ahead and like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos at the beginning of every week, with some book videos sprinkled in between. See you on the next one.